everybody. My name is Grace Carter, and due to many requests to whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm talking about in Polish language, to do in English. So, as Jeannie said, your wish is my command. The law of attraction already fulfills your requests, and I'm glad to do it. For you to understand, because I'm already done 6 parts in Polish language, what I'm talking about, you have to know a little bit about my upbringing, because it's important at this point. I was born, raised, and educated as a teacher in Poland. Since in Poland, of course, I was raised as a Catholic, going every Sunday to church, going, baptism, the first communion, confirmation, all that, stuff. So, the same way I raised my son as well. 21 years ago, I came to the United States. My horizons became bigger, more wide. And why? It's just to tell you, wherever you grow up, and you go to school, then you go to work, shop, bank, whatever you're doing, okay? But always in the same circle. That's how you know. That's your life. And once you move out, now you know more people, more life stories, more circumstances. It's just you're becoming more knowledgeable. It's just like with my favorite saying, my favorite comparison. When you stand in the front of a tree, you see that one trunk. That's how you know. And I don't care how beautiful that tree is, like on the road to Hana in Maui, eucalyptus, Australian eucalyptus, absolutely gorgeous tree. But that's all you know. Once you step back, now you know more, and more. Now you see the woods. Now the forest. That's the best comparison I can use with what happened to me. Once I came to the United States, I noticed more nationalities. For example, in Poland, you see only white Polish people. Okay? Especially when I grew up. And grew up in a small town. So we all were alike, like that one trunk of a tree. Once I came here, I see all the colors, all the races, all the nationalities, all the religions, just name it. Like a big buffet. And really wonderful, many wonderful people. And what I learned and what I realized, it doesn't matter what is the color of your skin. It doesn't matter what is your religion. As long as you are a good human being, that's what counts. That's what really important. Now, in God's eyes, we all came here for a reason. We all important, and we all loved. But I gotta go back to that background because it's so important. With my Catholic upbringing, I grew up to knowing that unfortunately, you can end up in hell. You don't exactly live the way you should. That hell and that big picture in my aunt's kitchen in the country, when God is with that huge fork throwing those people on a judgment day to hell, that big fire. Boy, I was a little girl, I was already scared. Wow, so that's scared of death. What's going to happen to me? Now, if you look at that coffin, and I said, what if I wake up, God forbid? Please leave that coffin somehow possible for me to open. And I don't want to be 6 feet under. I want to be somewhere that I can get out of the coffin and get out of that grave altogether. These days they have graves with the cement kind of liner. But before it was right straight to the soil. If it was raining, that was mud. Horrifying experience. But you see, just as today, so many people will go to the funeral. And everybody look what's going on in the coffin. But please, once we die, which I call going to the other side, we basically, our body, it's not important at all. We're doing this whole funeral thing for us alive. So people will come, say goodbye, and yes, for the person who just left, because they always attend the funeral. They actually there, but they're not laying in the coffin. They are walking around, listening to what you have to say. That's why it's saying don't say anything bad about those people who just left, because they will hear you. If you have those beautiful pictures, they love that because they can see, yeah, we were together, I was happy, I was healthy, and that's how they want to be remembered. Not that body, especially after horrifying death, either it's an accident or, God forbid, a cancer that ate that person alive. They don't even look like they used to. So let's forget about that whole idea, okay? They among us, they hearing us, sometimes they touching us, and once they touch, we will feel this really cold sensation on us. That's how we know they touching us. But they not in a coffin at all. No. So let's look at the slides, let's do some even music, whatever they like. Let's do the pictures from those healthy, wonderful, happy times. That's what makes sense. And then what happens? And then we go home. And that is a totally different story now to tell, because that's it. That's why it took for me to have those 6 segments. So I just want to touch a little of everything. The next time we're going to be talking about is what happens when we're dying and what happens before we even were born and right after when we're dead. That's what we're going to be talking about. Today, a little more about home, which is heaven, which is beautiful, beautiful beyond description. And that is something too we're going to be, because that's a long time talk. As wonderful as it is, please don't ever speed up the process. Here I want to tell you, do not ever ever, ever commit suicide. Yes, it's probably two different things. Before we came, we had a contract. We're going to talk about that more next time. But unless we put in our contract with God that we're going to leave this world because of our suicide, now, that's one thing. But let me tell you something. It can be only, I understand, two ways of committing suicide. Either we are mentally unstable, and that really requires a good psychiatrist and a medicine to get cured. So that in God's eyes is okay, because that somebody even didn't know what was doing, or was in such a depression and such a medication or something that didn't know what was doing. Okay, so that could be somehow explained. But if you ever will think of committing suicide because you're trying to punish somebody, or make somebody feel guilty, or manipulate somebody, you're not going home. You're not going to heaven. What's going to happen? You're going to become a ghost. You're going to be between this reality that nobody will see you, and you're not going to be on the other side either. You're going to be actually between these two realities. So you are nowhere. And that's not pleasant at all. Some people call this darkness, some people call you just like going around, around, and around, and around is no end. I believe that you have to help this person that you try to hurt by being there and actually protecting that person. You have to make up for it. Yes. Where is the crime, there is punishment. You have to stay around, first of all. And in that, instead of being in an absolutely state of pure love, you have to see how this person is now suffering because of what you have done. So it's not going to be easy. And I really honestly say to anybody who would ever think, like, for example, oh, she falls in love and then he wants to be with somebody else, like young people, but this can be for anybody. I'm just saying as an example. And she just says, oh yeah, okay, you be with her. I'm gonna kill myself and you gotta suffer forever and ever. You never get over that guilt. Every time you think of me, you're gonna feel guilty. Oh, yes, it could happen or not. But at the same token, this person who committed suicide, it's gonna feel this pain even a lot worse. So no heaven for these people. So I absolutely say, forget. Okay. Also, dying comes in various really different forms. Somebody can die in an accident. So left home, it never came back. Gone. And like a ghost with Patrick Swayze in Demi Moore, it doesn't even know what's going on. That person thinks still is alive, but really it's not. And it's very hard. It's very hard. Stays around and it's kind of wondering what's going on before something happens that sees the light and can cross over. Somebody, that's the best way. Okay, was sick for a while, everybody, let's say that was a cancer, everybody said goodbye, everything was said and done, and that's the good side of that really unfavorable form of dying, like suffering. But at least everybody were prepared, so it's a lot easier to go to that life. And some people were so far away from their closest, nearest, and the family, that when they passed on and now we have a funeral, they're not going to the light because finally they can be around everybody who loves them and who that person loves. So stays for a while around. There's a couple things that I want to say before I go. We'll have to go more into detail. The power of forgiveness. Please, let's forgive those who trespass us as we forgive. Let's go around and forgive each other, because forgiveness can really keep us away from all the best things, from the happiness, from what life has to offer us. So when my grandmother passed on, it was the case that I actually, we had a little, as a teenager, granddaughter. She liked one boy and I liked somebody else. Then the next thing you know, she passed on. And I somehow held that grudge in my heart for many years. Many years. And it's not that I ever spoke badly about my grandmother, but it always was something that I couldn't get rid of it. That feeling, like how she could take, the stand, not being on my side. Many years later, I think it was 1994 or 5, I was already in the United States. She came to me in a dream just before I woke up. And I met her in a kitchen in Poland. She gave me a hug. That hug was so powerful that I felt for 4 days, and the 4th day disappeared totally. But was so powerful that it's not just when I open my eyes, I let go of everything. I felt nothing but unconditional love. Such a powerful feeling that we on earth and on this earth cannot feel, cannot understand. Once was gone. Now, I know that if everybody could feel the love that is on the other side, nobody would be ever upset about anything. Everybody would be jealous. Nobody angry. Would be no wars. Would be paradise. Would be heaven. Because this is something that it's I wanted to say unfeelable. Probably is no word like that. Impossible to feel, period. Impossible. And then was my father, who, let's remember, when somebody passed on, let's don't cry too much too long. Yes, we're going to talk about 7 phases of the grief, which we all got to go through. But in a nutshell, I have to tell you, I was 2 years depressed after my father passed on. And he came in a dream, and boy, he showed me he's not happy. He's actually very, very upset that I'm still going on and on with tears and crying and being so depressed. I had to be on Paxil because I just couldn't, I couldn't manage it. After this dream, when I woke up, the Paxil was gone, the depression was gone, I knew what I gotta do. And here is my message right now to everybody. The grief, we gotta go through it, that there is no easy way out, okay? And everything, I guess, makes sense. People mean to us so much, And it doesn't have to be death of someone. This can be a separation. This can be divorce. This can be even, you know, the pet that we had for so many years, and we love like, you know, our own family member because that's who they are. And then the next thing, gone. And instead of being depressed for too long, please snap out and do something for the others. Because like I said in my book that's going to come out before Christmas, although it's going to be in Polish language, when we get in the front of God, after we pass, you know, after we go to the other side, He's not going to ask us how many cars did you drive. Was that a good car, young, or very old? Or how many homes did you have? How many vacations? How many rains? He's going to ask you only one question. What did you do good to your fellow man? What have you done good? And be prepared for the answer. Okay, kochani. Okay, my dear. I'm gonna at some point speak a little Polish, a little English, because it's gonna just start to sip in, just like the new energy that at some point we're gonna be talking about too. On this note, I'm gonna go from my heart to yours. I hope it helps to understand little things, and we're gonna be talking more and more about it. It's all, I'm sure, is interesting for those who want to know. Aloha, love you all. God loves you. Have a wonderful, healthy, wealthy, and spiritual